Where is InsurTech headed next? This is where indie agents own the answer. Welcome to the Vertafore Insurance Podcast. Let's go.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Vertafore Insurance Podcast. So pumped to have you guys with us today. Heath and I have both had our coffee.
Yes,
and
ready to rock.
Heck yeah, man. What cup are you on? One, two,
Probably
three? Three?
Probably three.
Three?
Three of the black coffees. Yeah.
Oh my God, all right. I'm on six, so. No, I'm just
Six?
kidding.
Holy smokes.
I'm just kidding.
How many of those are nitro brews?
Well, so this is the problem. I'm drinking hotel coffee, so 6 cups of coffee is 1 nitro coffee.
Right?
Yeah,
Totally get it. Totally get it.
All right, let's get to it. I'm really excited to introduce you guys to the one and only Elijah Goodman. He's a producer at Goodman Family Insurance, and he is here to blow our minds when it comes to insurance and TikTok. Welcome, Elijah. What's up, man?
Yeah, hey, Sydney. Thanks, guys. Excited to be here, so thanhanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. You go?
Yeah, I'm just interested to hear kind of the origin story because you told us, you've been open a year and a half, so tell me a little bit about your story, your background, how the agency came to be, and all that good stuff.
Yep. So I guess to start off with the agency. So growing up, my dad was always in insurance. He's been in insurance for about 35 years now. He had his own Allstate agency for about 30 years or so a long time. That's kind of my childhood growing up. He just worked in insurance. I never thought I wanted to do insurance. I thought it was boring and never wanted to do it.
I understand that.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, of course, at that point, I wanted to be a professional athlete. That didn't quite work out, though, so here I am. But, ultimately, though, after college, I got a job, not in insurance. I did that for about a year, and then I didn't really like that. And then that's kind of when I decided I wanted to work in insurance. And then talking to my dad, obviously, he actually recommended I go the independent side versus the captive side. Mm-hmm. So then I got a job at a really large independent agency here in the Milwaukee area. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin here. So got a job there. I was there for about a year and a half, 2 years. And it was really good. I really enjoyed that agency. They had really good training, just kind of taught me what I needed to learn. And then ultimately, my dad and I were always kind of talking about opening up a independent agency, and then my dad ended up selling his Allstate agency, and then he opened up Goodman Family Insurance, and then he brought over me and his longtime employee Jennifer at Allstate. So now it's my dad, Jennifer, and myself here, 3-man shop, and we just started this a year and a half ago. So that's kind of how we got here.
Nice.
So I feel like I found your videos, Instagram, TikTok, a year and a half ago. So did you come in with a marketing, that was your goal? Is you wanted to come in and your job was do marketing? Or was that just what was the story there?
Yeah, so at first, when we first started the agency, I had no plans or anything to start making TikTok videos. I did plan to make videos through Instagram and Facebook. I know it's just going to be kind of basic, boring videos. But I still have those on my laptop, which is funny to think about. I see these just explaining coverages and everything. But then kind of how I got into TikTok is my one friend made a video on TikTok, and it did pretty well. And it was nothing to do with insurance. It's my friend made a funny video. And then I made a bet with her that I could make a video that would get more views than her on TikTok. And that was my first video.
That's the competitive side. Now I'm seeing it come out.
So,
there it is.
So then I came up with an idea, which would be what would be a funny video. And my first video that did well was that cold call video I did.
Yeah.
But that was actually my friend on the line. So pretty much though, me and him just made that video, and then it went viral pretty much, which is cool. And then at that point, I just kind of kept making videos. But that's kind of how it started. I just had a bet with my friend that I could make a video that would get more views than she got, and I won the bet, so I was happy.
That's awesome.
Right? So the people in the videos don't work for the agency. They just...
Correct. They're
that's
all
so funny.
Yeah, but then Yeah, like all the interns and stuff, they're just my friends. They don't work for the industry. We're just messing around, having fun, honestly. It's kind of what the videos were.
They're brilliant videos.
So hold on. So how did it go viral? Like, were there hashtags that y'all were using? Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have TikTok on my phone. And that's
no problem.
That's intentional.
Oh, dude.
And here's why,
Yeah.
because if I put it on my phone, I'm gonna spend an hour on it and
Yeah.
get sucked into the algorithm. I had it on my phone for a little while, and I just was like, nope, can't do it. So
It's so addictive.
It is
Yes,
very addictive,
it
and
is very
it helps me to
addictive.
pass the time in certain areas that really help.
Yeah. So I stay on Instagram, where I get sucked into triathlon Instagram, and that's
There you go.
my
Okay, nice.
one weakness. So you're gonna have to like school me here on how
Okay.
the Instagram or how the TikTok platform works as far as like going viral.
Yeah.
viral,
So we got to
right?
teach Grandma Sydney
Yeah,
about.
teach me.
Yeah.
Like show me the ropes here, okay?
Yeah. So I'm really not like know exactly the ins and outs of how TikTok works and how to go viral and stuff like that. I would do hashtags to answer your question. I kind of just do basic type hashtags. I do like funny, hashtag sales, hashtag insurance.
Okay.
I really don't know if that's what you're supposed to do for hashtags. That's just what I did.
Yeah.
But pretty much, I know the biggest thing with TikTok is you got to like make a video that gets people's attention right away and makes them want to keep watching, because then I think there's something with watch time. If people watch the first like certain amount, they'll just keep pushing it out to people.
I see.
So I think that's really important, is just making the video at the beginning like addicting to watch. People are going to keep watching it. But yeah, I did use hashtags. I don't know proper technique for hashtags, but I just kind of do like insurance, hashtag sales, hashtag funny,
Yeah.
kind of stuff along those lines. But yeah, that's what I would do.
And I think another part of it for you and I was I don't know if you call it a fan, but like I watched all of them, as they came out, because you had a theme throughout. You had the interns.
Yeah,
And you would take the interns with you, and people would want to follow that story of the
Yeah.
little intern and go
Yeah.
door knocking with you. And just the way
Yeah.
you would talk to him was so shocking. And just the
Yeah.
shock value, it was just hilarious.
I know. And the the most popular intern Aaron, was just hilarious, because he's, respectfully to him, he's not the tallest guy. So just having him like go door knocking, be the tough guy, and just not be scared of anything, it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was just the shock value thing, I think, is what got it, because a lot of people watch those videos. It's crazy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
hold on. Let's dive into the content side of things here, because I know a lot
Yeah.
of agencies, and this goes back to my Ryan Hanley Agency Nation days,
Yeah.
right? When he was going around the country saying every insurance agent needs to replicate my successful content marketing strategy, which was like answer 100 insurance questions in 100 days
Yeah.
on YouTube.
I
He had
saw
a whole
his
thing of
SIS
content
videos.
warfare. Yeah, he had content warfare.
Content warfare,
Yeah.
and so like, and he had,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of proof in the pudding, right? He
Yeah, there was.
generated
Yeah.
a number of leads. He increased the amount of traffic to his father-in-law's site. Like, it was a successful venture. Now, and a lot of that was during the time when like search engine optimization was like a very strategic and impactful way to market. And so like you would use social media, but it was less about the social content side of it, and it was more about education. It was less about the fun, like crazy attention grabbing content, and more about I'm just trying to be that person, the advisor digitally, right? So talk to me about, because your content strategy is totally different. You were like, I just want to entertain people.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what helped me stand out too, was just I was kind of going a different route with just making really random, out there funny videos, which obviously people in like professional world, you usually don't see those videos, and it is usually just the basic content, just talking about coverages and stuff along those lines, which is fine, and obviously that works for a lot of people. But yeah, I just went the entire opposite route and just made just really random funny videos. And I always kind of had a weirder sense of humor like that, so I thoroughly enjoyed making those videos because I just thought they were really funny myself. So Yeah, I just kind of went with making funny videos, and there's a lot of people out there at social media. I think most of the most viral stuff are funny type videos.
Mm-hmm.
So there's kind of a lot of people that gravitated towards those funny videos, and just because it was just so not common to see someone in insurance or some sales role just making really wild content like that.
It is kind of, I think the shock value, part of it was, part of it is probably just the video itself, but part of the shock value is there's an insurance agent who's making this content.
Right. And people think that insurance is not fun, it's not sexy, it's not interesting, it's not this and that. But when you have someone like Elijah Goodman doing what he's doing, it makes it interesting.
Yeah.
So from another marketing question and perspective on that, so you're in Milwaukee. How many calls, because TikTok's global, how many calls did you get from people in Arkansas or Chicago or California or wherever?
Great question. And that was kind of like the biggest hurdle for me to get over, because like you said, it's all over the place with TikTok. And at first I was only licensed in the state of Wisconsin to write insurance. So when I first started putting in the quote form that I'm sure we'll kind of get to, but I put the quote form in my bio, I'd be getting all these leads, and maybe 10% of them were from Wisconsin. So then I was like,
so you had to get licensed in a lot of states.
Yeah. So then I ended up just getting licensed in a lot of states. But the difficult part with that too, though, was that I'd be appointed with all these insurance companies in Wisconsin. So it's kind of hard to get appointed with all these insurance companies in these other states.
Yep.
Luckily, we're part of a pretty big association here in Milwaukee. So a lot of them were kind of lenient in letting me get appointed with them in a lot of the local states. Not all of the states, but probably like 6 or 7 of the more local states. So I was able to get appointed with probably a decent amount of carriers in probably 5 or 6 states. Not all the states I'd like to, because obviously anytime you get a lead, you want to try to write it, as that's how you make money. But yeah, that was definitely a hurdle I had to get over. As one, getting licensed in all these other states and then getting appointed to sell for companies in these other states. And that was the toughest thing, though, because I get all these leads, I want to write it, but it was a challenge, because if I'm not, if I'm getting leads from random states I'm not licensed in, I can't do anything with them.
Well, so if you're an agency owner listening to this, you got a great referral partner, Elijah Goodman. If you wanted to reach out to him, and maybe you could refer some business that way and work out some sort of agreement there. That'd be great.
Kidding.
So the phone did start ringing.
I'll say this.
So the phone started ringing. You did start getting leads. It did work.
Yeah, I did. And I had like a sheet in my office that I have over here, and I got almost 50 clients from the videos, which was cool to see. And they keep a track of obviously the premium and everything I was doing. So yeah, it was really cool. We got a few really cool opportunities with some people who own some big apartment complexes here that they just saw my videos and they wanted us to quote them. We didn't quite get them, but I think we'll get them at the renewal.
Yeah, well, you got in front of them, right? And they know who you are, and you've started to build a relationship.
Yeah.
Exactly. And a lot of people just kind of, I'd say, kind of know I do insurance now, which is awesome. Just getting your name out there, which is huge, because obviously someone might not want to quote now, but when the policy comes up for renewal and it goes up, 30% in this market, they'll think of me and give me a chance. So definitely just getting my name out there.
Yeah.
Getting my name out there has been huge.
I mean, I think that blows the stereotype out of the water that the only people who are on TikTok are, 20 to 26-year-olds or 18 to 26-year-olds.
Yeah.
Sure, that demographic is on there, and maybe, sure, they're a large part of the demographic, but there are also people who own apartment buildings who are sitting on TikTok trying to figure out how to, mow their lawn perfectly and do home remodeling projects.
Right. I also think it's like any social media. The old people like me, we take over. Like Facebook was designed for college kids, and now I'm 43 and I'm on Facebook more than college kids are.
Yep.
Or, TikTok eventually will be, an older demographic. I just think, it's just part of it. So I think you were smart to do that. And those videos live forever on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was going to say, too, something I did that helped me quite a bit, too, on TikTok and Instagram videos is I would specifically say pretty much to kind of get my ideal client, which would be a homeowner and auto, for example. I'd say anyone who owns a home in these 5 states, which would be the states I'm licensed in, gets a $25 gas or $25 Amazon or Starbucks gift card if you let me quote you. And then pretty much to get the gift card, they'd have to send me their deck pages. That way I could at least know they're serious about getting the quotes. So yeah, when I got a little bit smarter with things, that's kind of what I do. I kind of say, if you own a home, because that separates a lot of the kids that are just messing around on TikTok to people that actually own houses, who is my ideal client. If you reach out to me, get a quote from me, you get a $25 gift card. And I got a lot of business that way, because that's a good way for me to just kind of separate the kids and people just messing around from those that actually could be a good client for me.
That makes sense.
I'm also thinking of like the agency owners listening right now and thinking how much money they're spending on ad spends, whether it's in Google or Facebook. You probably didn't spend a dime, promoting any of this.
Nope.
And you got 50 that you wrote from that. That's incredible.
Yeah. What was production like? How long did it take you to come up with these ideas? Did you make the video yourself?
Yeah.
Did you have an editor?
iPhone? What was that?
Yeah.
Good question. Yeah, it's funny. I did it all on my phone here.
Was that an iPhone 6 you just showed me?
It's a 3.
It's super old now. It's super old.
Wait, hold on. It really does have a menu button. Stop.
It's an 8.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Man.
This is.
I love it.
I would.
That is hilarious.
Usually, but for filming, usually I would have my friend Adam film.
Okay.
Is his name. So he would usually film, but the cold calls and stuff, those should be easy to film because I could just set my phone up and do it. But the door knocking ones and other ones along those lines, I need to get a filmer. So when Adam was busy, it would be hard because I'd have to get someone to film. Sometimes I get my mom to do it, or my dad's not capable of using any technology, so he couldn't figure out how to film. But I'd get like my mom with just random people. But yeah, that was the hardest part, I guess, is getting lined up. Not that it was too hard, but just getting people to film it and kind of getting it set up.
How'd you come up with the intern series?
I don't know. I just randomly, I don't know. I would just kind of have thoughts go through my head, no particular thing. But yeah, the interns that I think the first one I had was intern Matt, he's my best friend. So I think we were just screwing around in the office making videos, and that was a hit. And then I brought on the other interns, and then they were just popular. So I kept kind of riding the hot wave, you could say. Whatever, if it was working, I just keep riding it.
That's awesome.
Do people still recognize those interns around town or around anything else?
A little bit. When I was making a lot of videos, they would get recognized quite a bit around here.
I bet they would.
That is
little celebrity status there.
Yeah, it was funny. I know. I know they would get recognized. It was always funny. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So what did your dad think about it? I mean, that's totally different generational gap there with your dad.
Yeah.
What did he think about all this? And was he on board with it at first, or was there some
he does, like I kind of touched on, he doesn't know anything about social media. So he knew I was making the videos, but he didn't understand, or he just doesn't know what TikTok is or Instagram is. So he was happy because I was writing business. So he was happy about that, obviously. Mm-hmm. So he's just kind of like, whatever, you kids do your kid stuff or whatever. But
right, but a lot of agencies will open up their doors even a year and a half ago, and they're still not writing the type of business that you were writing. As you mentioned Ryan Hanley earlier, his story is he went 9 months before he ever wrote a policy.
Yep.
And you opened up the doors, and started a year and a half later, and you're still writing business from that. So that's pretty cool. Would you? Any suggestions, any tips, any ideas, anything you would share with listeners listening right now about using social?
Yeah, I'd say one thing I kind of touched on that helped me a lot is kind of motivating people to get a quote from you. And what I would do is I'd say, if you get a quote from me, you get a $25 Amazon or Starbucks gift card. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you can't make it depending on if they buy from you, but you just incentivize people to get a quote from you. That helped me tremendously. I've been I notice if I put out an Instagram story where I'll say, if you own a house in these states, you get a $25 gift card. If you get a quote from me, I get a whole bunch of hits on that. And then in terms of the content, I think, I don't know, because there's different content you can make. I'm not saying there's one right or wrong way to make content, but I just say if you want to get quote people, let them know you want to quote them and do some type of giveaway or something to incentivize people to get a quote from you. Because I've had a lot of success with that, just like actively saying, hey, come get a quote from me, you get this gift card.
But so do people who, how do you get around the people who just want the gift card? Right. I mean,
Yeah,
is that a large portion? But you're like, you know what? I'm willing to take the 60% of people who just took the gift card because the 40% of people who didn't, I got them. Right. So how do you?
Good question. So I'd require them to send me their deck pages for home and auto insurance. So one that would prove they're a homeowner. So yeah, pretty much my requirement would be they have to send me their deck pages, and then at that point, if they just run with the gift card, they run with the gift card. But before I did the deck page thing, that was like a day before I realized I had to fix it. But I'd lost my butt off because a lot of people just took it and ran. But if someone takes the time to usually send you the deck page, you're still going to get people to just run, obviously, but it wasn't really a problem. Like enough people would actually get a quote from me, and if I was able to, obviously, give them a good policy, they go for it.
But then you've also got them in your CRM forever. You know, you could use that as a prospecting tool.
Right.
And they may not want to buy now, but then if you do a marketing campaign a year or two later, hey, I sent you a gift card, I'd love to quote you again, da-da-da-da.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, that's
100%.
a great prospecting tool. Yeah.
Yeah, I got quite a few clients too, just because obviously insurance is kind of insane right now. I quoted them with the gift card immediately, and then nothing. But then because they were in the middle of the policy, and then the policy was kind of renewal, and it went way up, and they're like, "Hey, reached out to me, can I quote you?" And I got quite a few clients just from that, just because I quoted them when they were midterms, and I didn't want to make the switch. It makes sense, but then in the renewal, they had me in mind and they gave me a chance, and I was able to get the business.
Yeah. See, now that's smart. And then a lot of people don't think long term like that, right? They'll just judge the quality of the marketing campaign based off of, hey, how many people did you write within 2 weeks of running the campaign versus, well, there's some long term ROI there off the back end.
And when you
work them.
I was gonna say, when you get the deck pages too, you know exactly when it's coming up for renewal, so you can just however you do it, put it in your calendar, put it in your whatever management system that if you don't get them now, you know when it's coming up for renewal, so they'd be more open for a quote.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I know it's only been a year and a half, but do you have, you know, a system or a process for follow-up, or even for the new business? You mentioned agency management system. Do you have a CRM, a management system? Do you have a process that you guys are using?
Yep. So we use a system called Levitate, and then our quoting system is Applied Epic. So pretty much, we have like an automation that once we quote someone, we just reach out to them in 6 months, every 6 months, asking them if they want to get a quote again, and that's kind of how we do that. The re-quote from everyone we got who we didn't write, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's talk Instagram for a second. Did you did you copy the same videos you had on TikTok onto Instagram, or to different platforms?
Yeah.
Did you remake the videos in some way? How'd you handle that?
Yeah, so it'll be the same exact video.
Okay.
I wouldn't post.
Okay.
Because when I first started with TikTok, I know it was super important to post a lot on TikTok, is what all my research said. So I wouldn't post on Instagram as much as TikTok. So I kind of put the videos I thought were the funniest on TikTok on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Or on TikTok, I post more videos than I did on Instagram. So, but yeah, it would be the same videos. I just wouldn't transfer every single TikTok video to Instagram. Just kind of the ones I thought were my better videos.
Yeah. Okay.
And did you post those from your personal account, or did you have a specific account for the business that you used?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a business account. So I had my personal account, and then I had a business account, and I was posting it all on my business account.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, that gains a lot of traction and followers there alone that you could use, later on too.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, that's kind of the route I went.
Yeah. Okay, so for those insurance agents who are listening, what would be the just first step to get started on TikTok or Instagram, right?
Step one is simple. Yeah, step one is just making an account, because a lot of people don't have accounts, obviously.
That's
like
fair.
Sid Rowe there without the TikTok.
Hey,
Yeah.
Whoa. All right, that's fair. So make an account, and then
Yeah.
what's next in terms of really getting the wheels turning?
I would say obviously next step is posting videos, and I'd say I posted a lot of videos on TikTok before my first one kind of did really well and went viral or whatever.
Yeah.
So I would say you just post videos, you kind of play around with what connects with people, what doesn't, and then as soon as you kind of find something that's getting traction, just keep riding that wave until you can't ride it anymore. So I'd say that, because I made a lot of videos, like I said, before I kind of got any traction on TikTok. So I'd say don't get discouraged if you're posting and it's not, you're not getting the whatever traction you want from it. I'd say also just if you're posting a lot of the same videos and you're getting the same results, just kind of look at maybe tweaking the content in terms of however you think you could get more views and make it more appealing to people. So I'd say just kind of play around by posting videos. That's the only way to see what's going to work, what's not going to work. And then when you get something that works, just kind of keep riding that wave.
Yeah. You ever thought about becoming a insurance TikTok consultant?
I could, yeah. I mean, I've thought about it. Yeah, I would be open to that. I like coming up with ideas and everything. So, yeah,
there you go.
I'd roll one to post.
There you go for those listening.
For those listening, and you don't have,
I got some wild ideas though, so just be ready.
Well, and I love that you have, like, you don't have to have this setup that we have in here. You don't have to have a cameraman. You don't have to have the boom mics and everything else. You did it with an iPhone and some buddies. You know,
exactly.
It's kind of
well, and I want to say too that we were giving you a hard time about the phone, but the reason that we pointed that out is because you don't even have to have a super nice phone.
Right.
You can it's really not about the production quality. It's about the the content that you create, and does it entertain people? Does it get their attention?
And you don't have to have it perfect. You don't have to take 17 takes. You don't have to do it. You can just get out there and just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know 100%. Yeah, and I think too, just like the hardest part, I think, is just getting started, because people will be nervous to kind of put yourself out there, which I get, because when I was putting out those videos, obviously I could look like a total idiot just doing nonsense, but just kind of don't be scared to put yourself out there. And realistically, if you might put out silly videos that don't work, I mean, in a month or 2 months, no one's going to remember you posted a video. So I think just don't be scared to play around with some funny ideas or ideas that you think have potential.
Awesome.
Do you use video in any other part of your marketing or anything, like video proposals, or do you video for anything else, or just for social?
You said my social medias.
That's it? What?
No, I'm sorry. What was your question?
My question is, do you use video for anything else in your agency, or just for the social?
Yeah, just for socials.
Okay.
I did play around with it was one of the systems that I forget the name of it, where you can videotape yourself talking and send it over to the client.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it. I think it's a really good idea. But
Yeah,
I did try it. I just kind of, I've just kind of been sticking to the more emails, I guess, in terms of proposals and stuff and phone calls.
Okay.
But I did play around with it because I thought it was a cool idea. I just kind of went back to the email and phone calls.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, for those of you guys listening, check out Goodman Family Insurance on TikTok, on Instagram. Obviously, Elijah's starting a consulting business soon, so you never know what you might find here in the coming months. But Elijah, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, man.
Yeah. No, thank you guys. It was fun talking to you, and thanks for having me on.
Well, that was a great episode.
Amazing. It was an amazing episode.
I really enjoyed that content. Guys, if you enjoyed that content and you want more of it, make sure you hit the subscribe button.
Nah, dude. You got to tell them to crush it. Crush that subscribe button, guys.
All right. Whether you want to crush it, smash it, hit it.
Bop it?
Sure, we could bop it. Either way, guys, we don't want you to miss another episode. We enjoy spending time with you, the VIP.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.